Bienvenidos a todos a otro episodio de Los Ateístas Globales. Welcome everybody to another episode of The Global Atheist. I hope you're ready because today we have a wonderful episode with some Mexican atheists and we will be talking about what is going on over there. So with that, let's start, guys. So, hello everybody. I'm today very happy. First, I want to introduce my co-host, Phil, the Skeptic Atheist. How are you, Phil?
I am great, thanks. And what about you, Theo?
Yeah, I'm extremely happy because today we have invited three people. One of them is on his way, who have been helping me before. These are some amazing guys, and they have something in common. They are all from Mexico. And I'm going to
Ah,
start with my most common co host, Miss Alma Tadero. How are you today, Alma?
Hi, I am great. Thank you for inviting me here, and thank you, Phil. I think that
love.
is a good opportunity for people who speak English to know about what is happening in
Mhm.
Latin America and everything that is dragging the religion into it.
Awesome. And the second person is somebody who has been helping me a lot as well. She is amazing. That is me, Madam Pimienta Negra.
Or black pepper, as you wish.
Or black pepper. How
Black
are you
pepper.
today, Pimienta?
Fine, I'm great.
Great. And we do have somebody else who is on his way. His name is Rafael. He has his own blog, so he will be talking about what he does as soon as he arrives here. So, in the meantime, let's start talking about what you do and why you do these people. I would like to start with Pimienta Negra because I met Pimienta Negra thanks to a page that she runs where she does a lot of activism. And I would love you to tell us about that and tell us why you do that.
Okay, it's been about 4 years since we started the page, and it's not only me, we are maybe 20 people in the team. Some of
Mm.
us do more work than others because it depends on jobs, time, and everything. But it's an ongoing project. Um, we used to have only a private group in Facebook. Well, many private groups. And all of them are for atheists, which means we do not speak about atheism. Well, we kind of do, but that's not the main topic. We speak about everything, and it's a community for non-believers. We like people to feel safe and to have somebody to, well, somebody they can share their blasphemic jokes with, and that's it. It's been some time. We have 30,000 followers last time I checked, and it's going great. I like it.
Awesome. Thank you. I can hear people selling stuff and it's hilarious. Alma, can you tell us about what you do, why you do it? And yeah, you and I know each other, so I know a little bit about your story, but for everybody else, what can you tell us?
Well, okay. I started by being everything started because I was out of the religion known as Jehovah's Witness. And I started to realize that a lot of stuff that has been going on in the US and well, mainly the religions that they have over there are like
Mhm.
kind of leaking into the Mexican culture right now. I started to notice how fast that religion was growing, and I wanted the people to realize how much information that is doesn't come um, to Mexico because of the language barrier. So I wanted to help to start translating the information because a lot of things that has been used from famous YouTubers to spread misinformation. They use it because they speak English, and they just use whatever they want to feel. They want to use to misinform people, like saying conspiracy theories, um, talking about Bill Gates and the vaccines, and we're going to be placed with chips and stuff like that. And that thing is what worries me the most, because that information that comes from the US comes with the Mexican YouTubers. And but the information that is debunking all that is not coming up. There was before that Ateo and other YouTubers started to doing this, and there was nobody who will set straight the things that they were doing in Spanish. The information in Spanish just was not coming up, so that's why I started to ask around and the ACA if there was like a way to start translating information and to do it in a way that Mexican, well, in Latin America, everybody could understand, because even my family has fall for that. It's very sad for me to see that that every time that I want to have like meaningful talk with my family, they start saying, "Oh, because all of this is happening because Bill Gates did it, and the lizard people," and it's funny, but it's so painful at the same time. That my family, I have to hide stuff from them. I have been hiding the fact that I already been vaccinated for COVID. I already have everything.
Wow.
So, and I told them, no, don't worry. Over here, we didn't even have access to the vaccine, so don't worry. I didn't get it. So
Okay, Alma.
that is
Before
part of the
you.
reason why.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry, I have to interrupt because
Yes.
already is here the one who I said was late. Terrible, terrible, Rafa. Mr. Late, could you introduce yourself and tell us about you, please? And why were you late? Terrible. Oh, Rafa, you have to activate your microphone for us to hear you. I'm sure you know that already.
Yes, I kind of know that sometimes. Sorry.
For everybody in the chat, I love this guy, for real. That's why I can joke with him like that.
Yeah, we joke with each other. Well, it's your fault I'm late.
Yeah, keep telling yourself that.
You said 2 p.m. CDMX. Well, you didn't say CDMX. By the way, everyone, here in Mexico City, right now it's 1 p.m. And, well, I guess wherever you guys are, it's 2 p.m. So,
yep.
Difference in schedule, in the time zone, etc. So I'm sorry I'm very late. Sorry to everyone. Hi, everyone. Hi, Phil, Alma. Long time no see. Pimienta. ¿Hace cuánto que no nos vemos? By the way, everyone, Pimienta and I know each other live.
Maybe a couple of years, but hi again.
So, well, for everyone, my name is Rafael Tapia. I host a show called La Cantina del Ateo. In English would be the Atheists Pub. And we hold, well, you can call it a discussion table, a place where people can, well, start talking about any kind of subject, not only theism, although most things go around theism. We analyze stuff through a philosophical context, and we like also to see things through science. So there's a lot of talking on the Atheists Pub, like in any pub, right? Everybody can go there, talk, have a good conversation, etc. We have some debates, and well, that's pretty much the Atheists Pub. I have the YouTube channel, the TikTok channel, and I haven't closed my Facebook channel, but there are no more videos there, so don't follow that.
Amazing. So Alma was telling us about her reasons to do activism and how she was looking for translation, for translating stuff. And actually, that's the reason why Alma arrived to Nuestra Experiencia Tea. So I'm so glad that that happened, because Alma has been a huge help, and without her, I couldn't be able to do as many things as I do. I don't know if you want to keep talking about that, Alma, and what you have been doing lately.
Yeah, recently we have been translating information, and I help Theo translate interviews for the channel. I think it's very important for people in Latin America to hear most of the information that is coming from the US, and that's the reason why I joined Theo. And we have been doing a lot of stuff, even torturing ourselves with movies that we're not supposed like a night on the Creation Museum, and and other stuff. But yeah, mostly that's how I ended up on the next experience at there. And I like to do that. I like to contribute at least in that small part to the channel.
And Rafa, why do you do this? Why is there activism on your side? Why do you do what you do, sir?
Well, I grew up in a Catholic home, which was not fanatic or anything like that. Actually, I had a very good experience with the Catholic priest. It was a Franciscan monk, and everything was quite well over there. But the thing is that my family holds some other beliefs, like astrology, witchcraft, stuff like that. So eventually, when I grew up believing all these kinds of stuff. I even studied astrology at some point in my life. I was this close to being able to make you a star chart with your time and date of birth, etc. I used to study handreading, chiromancy. I used to study tarot, Spanish card reading, stuff like that. My parents once took me to Catemaco for what in Mexico is called limpia, which is like some kind of cleaning, etc., etc. So I grew up believing that. And I, kind of thought many stupid things. And reminding myself of a very cool video by Seth Andrus called Christianity Made Me Talk Like an Idiot. Well, I kind of can say that my growing, my racing made me talk like an idiot. Many times. When I realized that, I was angry, like really angry. And then I got over it, because I thought that my parents were lying to me and the people around me were lying to me. And then I understood that the lying is not the same than being honestly mistaken. Yeah. Still, I was heavily influenced by Christopher Hitchens' speeches. And I saw religion as the root of magical thinking. And I think that magical thinking is a scourge for the world, not just through religion, etc. It really does harm. And it doesn't have to do with the existence of God or not. If anyone believes that God exists, I have no qualms with that. I have no problem. What I want to propagate through the Atheists Pub is a way to think critically, understand how to think instead of what to think. So that's the point, the main point, the goal for the YouTube channel and all my activism. That's why I do it, because I wanna spread critical thinking.
Wonderful. I think that's it's great, and we agree in a lot of things. And I see that Phil is very excited, and I want to ask you, Phil, and then please, if you want to ask them anything, go ahead. Do you feel that the situation in the Caribbean where you are is similar to what they experience? Do you see similarities in what they are saying?
Yes, I do. The Caribbean is very religious, Christian wise. You have evangelicals, Anglican, but the evangelicals and a lot of the Christians tend to influence the government in terms of policies. They don't want the government to remove the mention of God, constitutions, and they want to keep LGBTQ laws in place. But the Raphael is correct. My thing is, if you teach people how to think critically, you don't really have to worry about the religion aspect because that will help them to get out of religion or to think and realize, no, this is not making sense. This is not fitting reality, you know. And there's a lot of superstition based around the religion here, around Christianity, right? Especially satanic panic sort of thinking,
Mm.
you know. Everything is the devil, everything is Satan. And if you say you're an atheist, of course, you get the look. And not only the look, but pushback.
Hmm.
Yep.
Okay.
Mhm.
Oh,
So I
what are you going to
wanted
say?
to ask them just one thing about, because of the highly religious thinking in Mexico, does the government pander to the religious, to the especially Christianity? Have you
Who wants
found
to
that
go
to be the
first?
case?
Black
I see
pepper.
Black Pepper had her.
Your mic?
Ready. Well, it shouldn't be able to do that because here in Mexico we had a war. It was practically against Catholicism. So they had a lot of power and they had a lot of economic power. So we had a war. A lot of priests died. It was awful. And now we have laws protecting some things, for example, education and some legal contracts against the church and its power. So now it does have power, but its power is more because our government has people who are believers. That's the power it has. But lawfully, it shouldn't be able to do that, and they should keep their religion not close to the government, but they should
Right.
part. And of course, they do not do that every time, but they should. That's the law.
That's similar here in the Caribbean, and similar here in Barbados, because I'm in Barbados. Yeah, the government, you will find that some politicians claim that they believe in God, and so I teach. I can tell you, public school is Christian devotions, even though it's public school, right? Not necessarily a particular denomination, but it's Christianity as a whole, and they have Christian devotions. They have brought people in to proselytize to the students because Barbados feels, oh, everything has to be about God, and that without God, they can't get anything done, right? Even though we are supposed to be a secular country, a pluralistic country, 70%, yeah, people are Christians, claim to be Christians. But I keep saying it is not the majority in a country that makes that country that particular religion. If it is about, if you have a pluralistic society made up of a number of different people, this is where government needs to keep separated from the religion. Even the politicians who believe need to realize that, because then people are disadvantaged, and that is what happens here. And every time the government panders to the Christianity, people are suffering because then laws, they refuse, they take long to change laws that are based in Christian thinking, affect other people. Or the laws, they don't, people, the evangelicals will come out and keep their noise. But they're pandering because they think that they will not get the votes that they want. So it's kind of tricky. And I suspect that might be similar in Mexico too, because the number of people who are religious.
I could like to take that the chance that you're talking about that because well we know that religion is going to affect us in many different ways, as Rafa said in the beginning. And I also want to emphasize that atheists, we don't have a belief, we don't have a type of specific way of thinking or any of that. So
No.
we are as different as you can get. That's
Yep.
why I would like, and I'm especially
Yeah.
focused always on the harms of religion. And I want to know from each one of our guests, guys, for you, which one is the worst harm of religion or the most visible according to you, in your own opinion?
To me, the most visible one is the magical thinking. Like Rafa said, a lot of people still believes in horoscopes, still believe in the magic cards. In fact, you can go to Facebook, and there's a lot of people like saying, "Oh, I'm going to do a reading for you guys, and I'm going to do your astral chart and all this stuff." Well, I it's a little bit embarrassing because when I was living in the US, I did that. I but I knew that it was kind of like a scam. It was one of those hotlines where you will call and said, "Oh, I want my horoscope for today," and I would just go into my computer, pull out anything that I could find on horoscopes, and sometimes making stuff up because I was cooking or doing something else. And people were like, "Oh my God, you're so good! Everything you said came true." And I'm like, okay.
But now you said that, it's like what I call recording the hits, but not the misses. And it's similar thing with prayer. Prayer is like a type of, I guess, sort of horoscope hoping. You pray for this and you get it, but what the Christians do, or what people do, is to look at they always ignore the misses, but look at the hits.
Yeah.
Hits that are coincidental.
It's the confirmation bias. It's
Confirmation bias.
yeah, it's one of the many biases that we have as humans. And well, astrology uses a lot of Barnum statements.
Yep.
Yes.
Also, something that we use is that we as readers, we had somebody helping us, and that person will read the social media of the person calling. So they will say, "Oh, that problem that you have at work, don't worry, it will be solved soon." Wow. Yep.
There are Christians that did do that. Some of these guys, in the United States, they one was actually caught doing that. His wife was giving him information through his earpiece about people in the audience and so on.
Yeah,
Which
I
is
remember
not different, because I see Christianity as magical thinking, religion as magical thinking too. Even though it is, religion deals with deities more so, a lot of religions, but it's still similar magical thinking. Astrology, to giving people, because they talk about, some churches deal with prophecy. That's kind of like astrology sort of thinking.
Yeah.
And some of these guys do the same thing you just said. They look on social media, have somebody look on social media and saying, "Oh, God is saying such and such and this and that," and people fall for that. And of course, there's a big grift. I call it a grift. Yes.
Okay, let's go now with Pimienta, because I want to know about
Pimienta.
her opinion as well.
Yeah.
Well, my opinion is that magical thinking and wishful thinking is very harmful. Well, it does a lot of harm. And recently we had an example here in Monterrey, in Mexico. We had no rains. Well, they had no rain, and they were pretty tough because of the lack of water. So some religious people decided to pour oil on the rivers and the water sources because they were praying for rain. So that's what religious thinking
Yeah,
does.
Yeah, that was bad. Yep.
it does cause serious harm.
Olive oil.
Wow,
That's awful.
that's
Yeah.
awful.
That's a
That's
mixture of religion, magical thinking,
Yep.
conspiracy theories that these oils fix everything.
Yeah.
I still remember by the time I was a Jehovah's Witness how I did believe as a fact that the flooding happened, and also believe that Jonah was inside of a fish for like a week. And I was like, how did I believe that? But yeah, now that I remember, I did believe that. I did was like, oh yeah, it's God and his, well, not magic, but for me was like the spirit. And this is the Holy Spirit working. And yeah, it was pretty bad.
Okay, and Rafa, for you, what do you think that is the biggest harm, or the one that you see at least?
Well, I agree with Alma and Pimienta that the very, very strong harm that comes is with religion is the magical thinking. It's just that I think it's the cost, and I don't mean economic cost. I don't mean money cost. The cost is your critical faculties. Religion and magical thinking make smart and good people think, say, and do stupid things. Yeah. And that comes at a huge price for our world, for society. We don't live in a vacuum, and everything that happens, even for people that may or may not be around us, it comes with us. It comes to everyone because we all form a part of society. We are a society. So, as Matt used to say, right, our beliefs inform our actions, and our actions have an impact within ourselves and within everyone else in the society that we all form a part of. So, stupid things, and I mean many stupid things. I could name examples, and we can finish the show without me finishing. Yeah, like I don't know, genital mutilation of little girls in Asia and Africa, genital mutilation in our countries with no apparent substantial reason. Exorcisms on little children we are with 2 or 3 years of age being subject to torture, people being killed or burned alive because they are supposed to be witches or possessed. That happens, maybe not every day, but it happens. Sick people who get embraced by religion. We have the very, very known case of Andrea Yates. She was a sick person. Yeah, she needed help, but it was the religion which convinced her that she had to save her kids from hell. Yeah. So the examples go on and on and on. So the absence of critical thinking, the absence of the use of critical faculties comes with a price that is too high to pay.
You know, my mother used to say one of my favorite phrases: ignorance is cruel. And she's totally right. And this type of magical thinking generates that in people, and it's awful how terrible the consequences are. When Rafa mentioned the the exorcism in children. I remember a kid who was given boiling water and he was murdered in that way because of an exorcism. So there are so many awful examples, and that's why that's why I'm going to promote myself. My channel is about education, because I think that education is very, very important in order to prevent that and in order to show people a lot of how reality works and to stop this magical thinking. And I'm going to use this as my segue, because there is a very important question here that I want to read for you guys that is actually about education and all of that. Here it says, let me quote, "In contrast to widespread superstitions, beliefs in society, how extensive is science education in Mexico in high school years?" Guys, tell us about Mexico.
It depends. If you are in a paid, mainly, maybe you can learn a little bit when you are in a private school. In public schools, no, no. We don't have that. We barely have like the basics and biology, and they don't tell us as much, because sometimes even the teacher is a believer or some sort, and they're like, "Oh, I'll tell you, but no, not really, not really. I'm not gonna tell you everything." So it's sometimes that, and also sometimes that um, the system is not as good. I mean, we have classes. The class that I was in the high school, it was like 40 people. So one teacher is not going to be able to um, teach all of us. So some of them were like chatting, others were like sleeping. I mean, yeah, it's kind of bad. Yeah.
Pimienta, Rafa, what do you think? Pimienta?
Yes. We had a friend. I have a friend who has a daughter, and she had this fake abortion movie during biology class, which means public education is not as regulated as it should be, and sometimes they teach magical thinking and wishful thinking in schools during science class. So it depends on your luck, I guess, and of course on the privileges you have. If you are from an urban neighborhood, it's different, and if you are from really, really far away on a mountain, you may not reach high school. That's it.
Oh yeah, that's totally true. In the rural landscape in Mexico, regular school is like elementary, like first years in elementary school, like first to third grade. Yeah, you're gonna have a lot of adults who are third graders here in Mexico, even though almost everybody knows how to read. It's also true that almost anybody doesn't know anything basic about algebra or chemistry, organic and inorganic chemistry, physics, history, literature. I was astounded when I had an interview with my sister-in-law. Well, I was talking with her about her mid-school term. Like here in Mexico, we have the elementary school it's not 9 grades. It's from first to sixth grade, and then you have 3 extra years for it's like a mid-school. Yeah, and well, she didn't know who Cervantes was. Yeah, literature's it sucked. Chemistry, like nothing. Not even the basics. Like I don't know how Valencia is called in English, etc. Thing is, public school. There are some public schools which excel, but most of the time you're not going to get above average education. Your best bet is private school.
Yeah.
And that has more level. It's through science, it has a lot more level. And UNAM schools.
Well, and it shows, because people believe a lot in self-diagnosis, in herbs, magical herbs or homeopathy, and so on and so forth. So the lack of science education is so huge that you can convince people to put some savila, which is plant, under the full moon and wait with some ribbons, and people actually do it. So that's the issue with medicine here, and the lack of science.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's so bad that, well, you have seen right there when I got the response of somebody saying that the rain was not invented, but after the flood, God
I
invented the rain.
Oh, that.
Yep.
That was told
That's
by
because of
somebody
lack of science.
that was supposed to have like at least high school, and
I
they
mean,
told me that.
we do have the meme primaria trunca, which in English is public school, so
Wow.
it's quite sad.
Yeah,
Okay,
and
guys.
that means
It also
sorry, Phil.
talks about the lack of comprehension. There is no courses about reading comprehension when you are reading. Like there's a lot of people who knows how to read, but they don't understand
not to
what they are reading.
comprehend. Right.
And they do not understand at all. They can be reading like the book. They have been misquotes from Hawking's, from the books of evolution, biology, and everything, because they do not understand what they are reading. So they just like, oh look, this is proof of God because it says this word. And
because the book is called the God Particle.
The God.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Oh. Wow.
Some publishers.
Yeah, reading comprehension sucks here in Mexico, and math, basic arithmetic is like lacking. Yeah. And if you fail in math, it's going to be a hard time for you to understand logic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
So
yes, I teach math. I have taught math. I teach science. But what I was going to say in terms of what y'all were talking about in the lack of science education and so on, is that that means that they don't, as I must say, they don't even have an understanding even of evolution. And here too, because of the Christianized thinking, very little is taught about evolution in public schools.
Oh, let me take that Christian. Let me take that Christianization thing because we have another very interesting question in here for you guys, which is: is there competition or conflict between Catholic missionaries and more fundamentalist Christian missionaries like Baptists? This is going to be interesting. Rafa, go away, please.
Of course there is. Of course there is. Yeah. Like every single missionary is saying that the others are wrong. Yeah? If you want to know what's wrong with Catholic Church, you ask Jehovah's Witness. If you want to know what's wrong with Jehovah's Witness, go to the Light of the World, Luz del Mundo, and the evangelicals and Protestants and Methodists and Jews, and everybody says everybody's wrong. And I agree with all of them.
Yeah.
They're all wrong.
As an example, that's how my mom entered the Jehovah's Witness, because when they first started talking to her, they started to point out everything that I was wrong with the Catholic religion. So we were Catholic, and then after they do a little bit of convincing, she started to take us to the Jehovah's Witness, because everything that we were told in the Catholic Church was wrong.
Oh, and it's also a great way to have more atheists. Here we have a very big group, and we know most of us come from families who just learned too much. So the children begin in Catholic Church, and then they study another religion, and they end with us. That's great. I love competition.
That's my origin.
I
That's
totally
how I
agree.
became an atheist.
By the way, I want to make a commercial, not for me, but for John Loftus.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
For what?
John
John
Loftus is
Loftus.
it's a philosopher. He has
Yeah,
a book which is called the
there's
Outsider's Test
tests
for Faith.
for faith. Yeah,
Yeah, I want to recommend
really
that
good.
to everyone. Yeah,
Yeah.
and well, pretty much it ends up happening what Pepper says. People become atheists once they realize that. Well, how I was believing a lot of crap. Let me go to Buddhism.
Listen,
Oh, I am believing a lot of crap now, but different.
right.
Okay. Yeah, and then they end
Yeah.
up agnostic or atheist. Who
Mhm.
cares? The thing is, what's important is
They're
that they
thinking.
analyze and think.
Yep. That's what
Okay,
brought
guys,
me out of religion.
Oh, awesome, Phil. I love our chat because we have some very interesting questions here. From Cat the Humanist, we have what about El Día de los Muertos and ghosts? So, guys, Día de los Muertos y fantasmas. Okay, I want to hear from Pimienta Negra before everyone else because she looks so excited.
I just love it. I love myths. I love fantasy. To have people making poetry for dead people, and that I love. To have someone you lost and to have a special day for you to remember them. For me, is really special. We have lots of rites. Well, rituals we do when we follow, and most of our atheists in our group do them. It's not because they believe in something weird, they just like remembering the people they lost. And I agree with that. I make the same with the cats I have lost and the hamsters and everything. And of course that's a little profanic here, which is against the usual belief, but I don't mind. It's my belief, it's my idea. I love to remember those that stayed here with me sometime, and that's it. I love Dia de Muertos.
Yeah, I
No, but
agree
the
totally.
whole
It's,
thing.
we have to make a guillotine or a razor, if you want, to distinguish cultural from religious beliefs.
Yeah.
Cultural state of the Day of the Dead in Mexico, it's a whole tradition. Even if many people think that they are really communicating and giving people, they are remembering and they have their people around, etc. Usually, funerals and these kinds of stuff are for the living. The dead person is not there anymore, so
Right.
those are for helping the person move on, like keep on with their lives. And the Day of the Dead, it's a great day to remember everyone that was important in your life.
That's in your life. Okay. Yeah.
Also, that those celebrations are like Christmas. We don't celebrate them because we believe in a Christ or something.
No.
Oh, and the
Right.
festivals and the
Yeah, the
costumes
costumes,
and
the
Oh,
bread.
I love Halloween.
the
pan de
artistry in
muerto.
Mexico is amazing.
El pan de muerto. Okay, Alma, I think Rafa rudely interrupted you. Terrible,
sorry.
Rafa. What were you saying, Alpha? No, he interrupted you. He should be apologizing, and he's not. Shame on you, Rafa.
He apologized.
I'm sorry.
The Day of the Dead is also part of the syncretism that we have in Mexico, because that is a myth that comes from the Aztec culture and the pre-Hispanic cultures, and how the dead used to come from the Mictlan city to visit everybody. So it is like a really nice myth, and I think that most of the 80s we see it as that, as something nice to do for ourselves and to remember the people who has been with us, like our grandparents or any loved one that has been gone, like in the past year.
Awesome.
Yeah, awesome.
So we have another very interesting question. I'm sure, Rafa, you are going to have a lot to say about this. Let's hope. So, do any of you guys know of any YouTube Spanish language science communicators that we could plug here? Oh, Alma knows. Alma.
I like
She won, Rafa.
sorry, I like the Kyrgyz. I don't know how to pronounce it correctly. Kyrgyzstan channel in Spanish is so good.
Which one? I
Which
didn't
one?
hear it.
Which one?
Kyrgyzstan.
I don't
And
know that one.
Canal C, the science, and quantum fracture.
Quantum fracture. I was gonna say
Oh.
that. There's
Yeah.
another one by a physicist called Javier Santaolalla that's called Date un blog.
Oh yeah, that one.
That's a fun one.
Date un blog. Yeah.
Yeah.
That one.
There's
Also,
another which is very
Antro-
tasking in Spanish. Adelante, Pimienta.
Antroporama also. She's great.
Antroporama. Ooh.
Ya, preguntas curiosas. No recuerdo bien el nombre del canal.
Preguntas incómodas.
Preguntas incómodas es muy bueno. Y si mal no recuerdo, había uno que se llamaba Curiosidades. I'm sorry if I don't misremember. That's one called Curiosidades or something like that. I can't remember the name right now, but it has really good production.
La Gata de Schrödinger, isn't she also spreading scientific material? Yeah, I like her.
Yeah.
And I need scientists in my channel talking about that. Oh, Rafa, look at that. Kyrgyzstan?
Kurzgesagt.
Oh, yeah, it's in Spanish, apparently.
Well, it's German, but it is translated to many languages.
Oh.
Oh,
Kurz
that
is
explains it.
short and
Nice.
Gesagt said, so it's a short video.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
I'll check it.
Interesting. Good. So with that, we go over from
también,
the...
sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead, Alma.
Hay otro que se llama Astronomía Web.
Astronomía Web. Okay. Interesting. I didn't know about that. So there you have it, people. There are programs in Spanish. Yeah, Rafa, please.
Bueno, uno que les recomiendo. I recommend a lot. One in Spanish that's called El Explicador with Enrique Ganem. Like, the guy is good. Really good. And he's been doing this for pretty much 25 years, at least. So he is before YouTube. He did that on radio like every single day of the week for 20 years. Monday to Friday, making explanations about scientific articles every day. Yeah, that's one which I could recommend a lot. And I don't know if I could recommend El Rey Va Desnudo because I don't agree with many things Mauricio Schwartz say. Yeah, Pepper agrees with me. So only El Explicador of Enrique Ganem. Yeah.
Cool. Let me do some propaganda in here because if it is not really science, but if you're interested in history, in my channel we have a guy called Gerardo, and he's a believer actually, who explains the origin of gods in a very impartial way, and he actually explains it quite well from a historical point of view because that is what he studies. And if you are interested in history, go and check it. It's called La Historia Detrás del Mito. That will be the history behind the myth. So, propaganda.
Nice. And well,
okay.
I can plug myself.
Please, Rafa.
We talk about science sometimes, other than philosophy, right? In La Cantina del Ateo, youtube.com/La Cantina del Ateo.
And if I can get our mutual friend who is a biologist, Miguel, right? Yes. No?
Yes.
It's Miguel. No, it's Javier, right? I can't think.
Javier.
Yeah, it's Javier.
Javier.
Yeah.
I want to bring him to my show as well, so maybe we can have a Only Science special in there. But that's too much about us, Rafa. Phil, I think you had some questions for our guys in here as well, I think.
No, the questions that I had was about the government, that the impact of the religion on the government and not politics, but policies. But another question I ask is, have any of you experienced, and I know this might have happened to Alma, experienced gaslighting as a result of you
Oh
giving
yeah,
up
being an atheist. Yeah,
all the magical thinking and whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get gaslighted by people you don't even know. They don't even know you. They don't even know who you are, what you think, what you do. They realize you're an atheist, and you get gaslighted instantly.
Yeah, I think that's because they have a preconception of what atheists are, which might have been taught here. I can say it being taught by the church. False notions about what atheism is and who atheists are. Right? Yeah.
In
But
Mexico
your
City,
family, have you received it from family members and
Yeah.
friends?
Some family members, some friends, etc. Mexico City is not as big a deal, but if you go to the states of the republic, then you're gonna be really, really gaslighted.
Whoa.
Also by colleagues. That's something I especially hate. Colleagues.
You hate colleagues.
And I sure y'all lost friends as a result of
I work with lots of
being atheist?
engineers, so they are
Okay.
male, they are Catholic.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Just like that.
So you're experiencing some sort of misogyny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That is an everyday thing for women in Mexico. Misogyny.
Wow.
Like, you don't know what you're talking about, even when you do know what you're talking about. So, yep, yeah, that's pretty much something that happens a lot, especially
Right. And
through
you
women.
think, right, and that has come about as a result of the sort of religious thinking, you think?
Yeah, and sometimes it does. Example, I remember when I was around, I think at that time I was like 25 years old, and we went to clinic, me and my friend. She was already married at that time, and she was asking for condoms to a nurse. They're supposed to be free in that clinic. It was from the government, and they were supposed to be free. And the nurse only gave her like a pack of 5, and she was like, you know what, we come from like really far, we have been all day, because when you go to a clinic, or Mexican government clinic, it's like an all day thing. You have to wait hours and hours to be seen.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
she was like, can you just provide me, I don't know, something like for like a month? And she looked at her like she was like the worst person in the planet. Almost told her that she was like a prostitute or something like that.
Whoa.
Yeah, she made the nurse made a comment like that.
Like that.
And
Wow.
a
Well,
good
I
Christian
pity the
woman
nurse.
will not need this.
I pity the nurse, Alma, because if she thinks 5 condoms are enough for a month, I pity her life, her sex life. Really. Yeah, like I'm really sorry for her.
But that's what you said, Rafael, that these things have serious consequences. This sort of magical thinking does have serious consequences, not only for you as the person, but also for others around them. Because if she's thinking, the nurse is thinking, "Oh, this is against my belief," or whatever.
Yeah, she said that
the
because my
restriction.
friend wasn't a good Catholic, so she was like
Yeah.
basically as slut shaming
Right.
her.
And
Gosh,
and then
I've even
yeah, go ahead, Theo.
Sorry, I was going to say that I've even seen anti-vaxxers who happen to be nurses, and that is a huge harm that comes from religion and from priests, pastors saying no, the vaccine is evil, and
It's a mark of the beast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, guys.
Those are the consequences. Yeah.
As I said, the chat is amazing. We have 2 more questions, Pimienta, and then we go with the chat.
Just a quick idea. Next time your friend has some issues, just convince them you are going to abort if you get pregnant, and they will give you more condoms. That's what child-free people do. I do that. I say I will come next month to abort, and then next month if you do not provide me with contraceptives, and they have always given me contraceptives.
Ah,
Yeah,
That's
true.
a great way to
that is great.
if you don't give me condoms, well, we're gonna get pregnant, and we're gonna come here to ask for an abortion. Yeah,
Yeah.
every month. So
Mhm.
I'm gonna need a lot of those packages, please.
But before Theo continues, y'all mentioned abortion. Is abortion legal in Mexico?
Yes.
In Mexico
It is.
City, it is, and in some states also. But
Okay,
it depends, it varies.
it depends. Okay, okay.
If you need
Yeah.
an abortion and you are in Mexico and wherever you are, it's not legal, just call me. I will have you here in my home and we can take you to the abortion clinic. I don't mind.
Mhm.
So just feel
Mhm.
free to ask for help.
Yeah. In
Great.
the Mexican law, abortion is well upheld. I don't know how to say it in English, by constitution, and I think on every state
Mhm.
only if it comes from rape, if there is some danger to the mother. It's the three principal reasons, right?
Mm,
And in Mexico City, you don't have to explain anything. You
okay,
just go to a
okay.
certified clinic or a government clinic, and you can get an
Mhm.
abortion directly, no questions asked.
Great.
Which is great here in Mexico. There were some people from some political parties that were trying to change that in Mexico City, and fortunately, it didn't go through.
Good.
Yeah. Stupid people are everywhere. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
so well, fortunately, here
Mhm.
in Mexico City, you can get an abortion like no questions asked.
Nice.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
Question one from the chat. Well, it's like the fourth or fifth question,
More
but
for
now that
sure.
I have
Yeah.
here.
Okay.
Is atheism spreading in Mexico, guys? Especially from the younger generations? What do you see?
Oh yes,
It is.
fortunately.
Ooh, I like that.
And
Yeah.
I
Catholicism
like
is losing ground. Catholicism
Mhm.
was at pretty much 90-something% in 2000, and right now it's at 80 or below percent.
Mm.
Except not all of those Catholics that left the Catholic Church became
Yeah.
atheists. They became
Went to evangelical.
evangelists or
Evangelicals.
Jehovah's Witness or religious in some other aspect.
Yeah.
But still, the atheism in Mexico has moved. I think it was like 5% in 2000. I don't know, Pepper, if you remember statistics.
No, well, it was more than 90, and now it was, I guess, maybe 80%. It's
Oh,
although,
yeah, we're about to hit the 15% atheists in the Mexican population, right?
well, the issue there is that we don't actually know how many atheists we have because the government does not ask the important questions. They ask,
Mm.
religion are you? Which is your religion? And that for atheists is weird. We answer, I don't have one. I am a Satanist. I am. Well, nope, it does not apply, and they divide us in many different answers. So we actually do not know how many of us there are.
Wow.
But we know the number is increasing, and even for those who are not atheists, we know they are non-believers. So it helps.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, INEGI just updated many things on that. INEGI is the government institution that
Census?
makes questions. Yeah, that makes the census and every other stuff. And in the religious questions, they included atheism. So we should have some kind of number by 2020. But right now, well, we don't have time to check.
Yeah, it's just that the information on the census is not like published yet right away. It takes a little while for them to do anything. So yeah, it's not. We don't actually know exactly how many we are, and there is also a lot of people that is not going to say it publicly. So they just rather say, I am Catholic. I just don't go to a church, and that's it.
Something tells me there is a huge name of Catholic who have been baptized and they just don't go to church, and that's their situation. Dan is asking something very interesting that maybe happens, maybe not, and I'm really curious about that. he's saying that over there in Africa, they say that you are an African if you're an atheist, like you're going against a religion, therefore you're going against the nation. Is there a similar prejudice in, not Latam, in Mexico? Because in Mexico specifically, guys? No?
Mm,
No.
No. It's just that our country doesn't identify as a Catholic country, even though it's a majority of Catholic people living on it. But we're not. Catholicism is not equal to patriotism. Since Benito Juarez made the church-state separation clear in the reform of 1862 or something like that. I don't remember the
nice.
year. There is religion and government separation, and actually, religion cannot own real estate by law.
Yeah.
And the school, by government law, the government schools, public schools, are supposed to be laicist. I don't know if it's the right term in English.
I will say secular.
Yeah,
secular.
Yeah, it's
Secular in Spanish,
by law,
secular in English.
Be secular. Only private schools are like confessional schools.
Yeah.
Well, some of them.
It's amazing. Mexico is way more advanced than the USA in matter of education. That's interesting.
Aspect. Yeah.
Dawkins said
Even
that
Barbados.
here in Mexico, he came to Puebla to a festival called the Festival of Dangerous Ideas, the Mexican version. And Richard Dawkins came and heard about the Constitution and said, well, you guys are better than the US. I can't believe it. Amazing. You're even better than the UK in that aspect. By law.
Wow.
Thing is, in Mexico, well, the law people they do whatever they want with it.
Yeah. Okay.
No, they are hypocrites, but it works both ways. Like a politician can say to the TV or to their interviews, they can say, "Oh yes, I believe in the Virgin Mary, and I am Catholic and everything," but then they just don't care and they vote in favor of abortion. So if it is convenient for them, so it's
Political convenience. Yeah.
Political convenience mostly.
By the way, I have a comment. I think it was the chairman of the Light Commission in Mexico, the Energy Commission. And what happened? Here in Mexico, our wonderful president wants to remove the time zone change, the time change, like what's
in daylight saving
time.
And the daylight saving time. The president wants to eliminate that. And this guy came on TV, national TV, and said, "Well, it's just that the benefits are minimal. We should take care of the medical problems that come with daylight savings time, and we should go back. We should go back." Say this, being a political leader in national TV, we should go back to God's time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
On national TV.
Wow.
Most stupid thing I've heard of well, no, it's not. But one of the most stupid things I've heard on national TV by a politician.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. God's time. Yeah. Wow.
And worst of all, there are people supporting those politicians, and that's scary and sad.
Yeah, it's just that, and for politics, and here in Mexico, it's just a tool of convenience. That's it. They're not even like real believers at all. Like,
yeah.
Oh, guys. Well, before I forget, because I know if I don't do it now, I'm going to forget. Let me say thanks to our top patrons, top patron supporters. I have Bastrasher, Kathy Cotton, Cindy Plaza, Bryce, Deborah Grace, Sunny Shell, Aaron Coalson, and Phil Calderone. Guys, thank you. You are amazing. You are the best out there. Thanks to you, we are able to do this. And yes, I don't know, guys, in the chat, do we have more questions? Anything else to ask to our guests? They are awesome people. You can ask them anything.
I love that
Rafa?
one of your. I love that one of your patrons. Well, he might be the ex-president of Mexico, Philip Calderon.
Oh, Felipe Calderon.
Okay. You should
Yeah.
explain
That's a
that to
joke.
people like me who didn't
Oh,
get the joke.
I'm sorry, just that Felipe Calderon was the worst.
No,
Mm.
no. The worst is
Well,
the
no,
actual one, and
yeah,
actually, I think Calderon was
all
better
of
than
them
Potts, but
are really bad.
just an atheist, so let's not talk politics.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But we don't know if that's good or bad to be
yeah.
Phil Calderon. You don't
Yep.
know.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mm.
guys, it's been lovely having you in here. It's been
Yep.
amazing. You, all of you, have great things to say about well Mexico because that's where you live, and you can bring us a lot of things that we have no idea about.
Yeah.
I will ask you if you have something else to say about Mexico or any message that you would like to give to people from there or people from outside the country that want to know about that place. And then give us your final thoughts because, well, everything has to come to an end, even wonderful moments like this with amazing people as yourselves. Don't fight, you all can speak, it's okay.
No, thank you very much, Theo, for having us all here, and I want to apologize for being late again. And yeah, it was a great show. I'm really fond of speaking with many of my peers in this place. I don't know
Mm.
if Pepper, do you have a channel? I don't know. Let's plug you in.
Channel, no. But I would like to call people, especially atheists, to find community. I always do. I think we all need community, and if you do not have one, just search for one you
Mm-hmm.
like. We
Yep.
are not supposed to stay alone. And as they have friends among the church, we can have friends among atheists, and it's lovely. So find one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, having a community is not exclusive to religious people. They just
Yep.
have been doing it for longer,
Yeah.
and they used to kill people which didn't believe like that,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, everybody, well, Alma, I think it was your turn.
Thank you so much. No, well, I have the same opinion as Black Pepper. I think that joining a community it will also help us not only to um, talk about the experience that we have with religion, also will help us to not feel like we are alone on this, especially because we are surrounded by people who are religious and will sometimes be a little bit difficult to deal with, but I think it's a very great thing that we have right now a community that can support us a little bit.
So, Alma,
Mm-hmm.
you don't have any channel to talk about, to promote in here? Are you sure about that?
Yes, join nuestra experiencia Atea. This is the best channel ever, and buy a coffee to Teo if you wanna if you want the coffee to have uh,
To have.
to have poison in it is $25.
Thank you, Alma. Be more obvious, please.
Mm.
And
Okay.
yeah, I join us also in Facebook, and we have also the TikTok channel that Theo is keeps promising that he's going to do. I don't know when it's going to happen this, but I know it's going to happen.
Tomorrow, sure.
And also the Theo is going to sell a calendar. As you can see, he has lovely pictures for his calendar. You can
Mm-hmm.
see it right there behind him. It's
Yep.
going to be
Sexy
an
Theo.
awesome model.
Okay, guys. Before I go with Phil and our final words, I want to plug the next show that you should all check and watch. It's called Women Atheists Unload, and it starts
Mm-hmm.
at 3:30 CST. Super important, very important one. So please, guys, go and check it. And
Yeah.
Phil, final words for us.
Well, I want to say thank all the panelists for being here with us, and it was lovely conversation, getting to know what is going on there in Mexico and sharing your experiences. Thanks for doing that for us. This is really good. And as you said, community, regardless of wherever we are in the world, the atheist community together, helping out each other and sharing. Yeah.
So thank you so much, Phil. Thank you so much, our guests. And the chat, guys, all of you are amazing. And that's it. See you soon. Nos veremos pronto. Que estén muy bien y hasta la próxima.